Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about Choose or Die, a Netflix original horror movie that is kind of a throwback movie, but it's a throwback movie in a very interesting way. It is a movie about an evil DOS game. An evil not choose your own adventure, text adventure?
Evil text adventure.
It's an evil text adventure game where you are given choices to do that progressively get more lethal. Basically, it's an evil fucking game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it starts out pretty brutal to begin with.
Oh my god, yeah.
But it does not. Yeah, but the thing is it doesn't tell you.
It gets brutal and bloody like right off the bat. Like this game don't fuck around. And on the surface, entering the movie, I expected something that was going to be kind of dumb but fun. What I got was a movie that was both dumb and fun, but also had something to say and was also like emotionally resonant. Like it actually took time to develop its characters and make you care about them, and their struggle actually says something about like the world at large. There's actually social commentary in the movie, on top of it being a dumb, fun 80s throwback movie.
Yeah, a reoccurring theme throughout the film is the idea is the 80s.
Yeah. And
one of the ways in which they did this is that it's set in the modern day, but the world is now kind of that shitty urban decay hellscape that was in every 80s movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, that's a reality now.
But with a mixture of, like, modernness to it. Like...
Yeah, people have cell phones and stuff.
Watching her... The main character is really poor. She takes care of her drug-addicted mother. Both of them are still reeling from a death that happened relatively recently to both of them that they both really care about, and... Mom went straight into drugs, and daughter's trying her best to just survive. But she works as like a janitor at like a tech office, but it's like a tech office they're still working on. They haven't actually fully filled it out.
I actually got the feeling that it was an office that was abandoned, but for some reason they're still curating it.
It may very well be it's a mystery to even the characters of why they're still curating it.
Yeah, because they're like, this place is empty.
But like, while the urban like hellscape outside very much reminiscent of like 80s hellscapes, the interior of this building is very much like Apple.
Yeah.
Like it's very much modern Apple. You know? It's very much you walk into the Apple store and everything's glass and shiny.
Everything's glass and white and like, light blue.
Like movies like Minority Report or iRobot, it kind of reminiscent of.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
So you got this nice juxtaposition of something old, something new, and it's mixed together to create this really unique thing. But one thing that's really interesting about this movie is, unlike every other 80s throwback movie I've seen, and we've seen a lot of them over the course of the last few years, and there's been some great ones. This one actually critiques the 80s.
Yep.
And it critiques 80s nostalgia as well as the people that are nostalgic for the 80s.
Yeah.
While also still kind of loving those aspects of the 80s. It's a very interesting dynamic it does.
Yeah, you don't get the feeling that they hate the stuff, you know? But they are very critical of it.
Like, the movie is very much aware that the main character is suffering under the failures that kind of started in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
Reaganomics!
Exactly. Like, the characters are suffering under late-stage capitalism as a result of the Reaganomics that was started in the 80s. And the movie's very self-aware of this as it goes on. And we'll get more into that when we talk about the spoilers, when we start talking about, like, how the game came to be in the spoiler section.
Yeah, because often the backstory for the evil thing that happens, like when you would do this in the 80s, it was kind of flimsy.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, oh, it's a haunted record somehow.
Like serial killer died, ended up in the fucking record. Or
exactly.
Or maybe some like rock band did some sort of ritual and ended up in the fucking VHS tape. You know, something like that.
Yeah. This one, on the other hand, connects a huge number of dots.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically... Wait, how does this work? And there is enough of a backstory that you're like, Jesus, that could have been a movie in itself.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. You could totally see like a Choose or Die prequel.
Yeah,
all about the creation,
all about its creation. Yeah.
You know, but done in the style of the Pirates of Silicon Valley or something like that. But it's about this evil game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, in Hypercube done right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You could totally do that. It also ends in a way where you could totally see them making another movie afterwards. But the thing is the movie that they would have to make next, like the sequel, would have to be a very different movie given the way this movie ends.
Yeah. I even know what it would be like, but that's a spoiler.
That is a spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah, the long and short of it is I really fucking loved this movie. Like, we watched 2 movies in a row that were both really fucking good, and I was expecting this one to be like the bad one that's kind of fun, but still kind of bad.
The lower quality one, the B movie.
Exactly. You know? Like I expected to be like some of those like early 2000s movies that were like video game movies, but like most of them were really like
just bullshit.
At best, they were fun to laugh at.
Yeah.
I was expecting something a little bit more in those lines, maybe a little bit more high quality than that. I was not expecting it to be this damn good. And to have all these pieces all come together very well. It gave me more than I bargained for, and I enjoyed the shit out of that.
Yeah, it's a really, really good movie.
You know, it's gory, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's got the nostalgia, if you're the person who's nostalgic for the 80s. It also has a lot that you can relate to, like, in the modern day, shit that we're going through right now. It's very easy to relate to that shit that she's going through. Any thoughts before we move on to spoilers?
No, I think we should just move on to the spoilers, because that's really where the meat of this is.
Absolutely.
You know, there are a lot of great moments. There, even though it's a very simple plot, there is a lot to spoil because the movie does rely a lot on tension.
That was another thing I really liked about the movie, is that it made me buy into the mechanics of the game, even as it got more absurd.
Yes.
Like, it's really good at the verisimilitude of that situation, even though it goes even more crazy than past video game movies have.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, the level to which the thing changes reality gets ridiculous.
Like it has like full control over reality. Like you are not gonna cheat this game.
No.
And to that, and what I like about that is that for a huge chunk of the movie, it feels kind of helpless. But you still kind of are rooting for the characters and hoping they figure out something, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's no dead animals that I recall in this, but it is a very graphic and brutal movie. It is way more brutal than you're expecting. I promise you that. So just know that going in, and it's available on Netflix. So watch it on Netflix. I don't think it's going to be available anywhere else. No, like Netflix movies usually aren't.
I think it's a Netflix original.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're going to want to watch it, you're going to have to subscribe or resubscribe to Netflix, given how I know many people have unsubscribed lately for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let us move on to the spoilers.
All right, so first off the bat, it's an evil fucking game.
Ooh,
it does not play fair.
Absolutely.
It does not play fair. It does not tell you what the rules are. Mm-hmm. The only thing it lets you know is that you have a choice between two things and you must choose one of them.
Well, that's the thing. It tells you the rules in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, choose or die, right? Like, for most of the game, it's make a choice and suffer the consequences of one of those choices, or you just die.
Yeah.
You know, those are your options, and but what you don't know is the long game, right?
Yeah, you don't know where it's headed.
Exactly. Each new level, it gets progressively more insane and more insidious and alters reality more.
Yeah.
And gives you worse and worse choices, but you don't know, like, what the ultimate choice is going to be at the end, you know?
Yeah.
You just know that everyone around you is in danger as long as you're playing this game, and you can't not play it. Once it chooses you, and it basically chooses you by you booting up the game, essentially, once. Yeah. Once it chooses you, you have to play it to its completion, regardless of how that goes. That's the extent of what you know.
Yeah.
But a huge chunk of this movie is the characters trying to figure out where the game came from and why. And usually in like these kind of like cursed, supernatural, evil entity things, the answer is always kind of like either bullshit, or it's just kind of thrown in there as an afterthought, or it just doesn't matter, you know. And to a certain extent, most stories like this, it's better not to know.
Yeah.
But what I really liked is that the explanation in this movie was actually really fucking satisfying.
Yes.
Essentially, a bunch of fucking like tech startup guys in like the early 80s or mid 80s were developing a DOS game, and they developed the game around an ancient curse where if you inflict the curse upon someone, you will reap benefits. Like you will reap eternal life, you will reap fortune and success in all your ventures. So it is essentially a curse that you place upon someone else. And they developed it as a game because that is a thing they could distribute to multiple people and reap a whole lot of benefits for a long time. So the characters basically track down like all like the origin points of the game. Like in the game, there's like a number that you can call, and they try to figure out where the number comes from when they trace it. And through that, they end up tracing it back to this warehouse where they obviously developed to get the game back in the day.
Yeah.
They find old tapes that were left behind by the developers of their developing process, and that's where they learn a bunch of this shit. But what's really cool is that that's like the revelation about like 2/3 of the way in, but there's still like twists and turns that happen after
still
that.
A lot of twists and turns.
Because the movie opened up with this guy who obviously got the game in some sort of like 80s nostalgia sale or something like that. And he collects DOS games because he's one of those, he's a Gen Xer who remembers the 80s as this wonderful time. And he's kind of, he's kind of stuck there. And he's got like a family that he obviously hates. And he boots up the game and it ends up making him do all these terrible things to his family. And then it like goes to like the credits, and the credits like show us more terrible things it does to his family. And then after that, we don't know what happens to him. We don't know what his ultimate choice is and where that goes. But then the main character plays the game to the point where she reaches the boss level.
Yeah.
And the boss level leads her to him, where we find out that he has been reaping benefits because he distributed the game to someone else, and that was the final part of his game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't his final level. His final level is fighting this girl. So they're both at their boss level, right?
Yeah. It's whichever one's going to win.
And it becomes a battle between the idealistic Zoomer versus the nostalgic, stuck in the past Gen Xer, who's also like really misogynistic.
Yeah.
And it becomes this battle between the two of them, which becomes this like metaphorical battle for the future.
Yeah.
Like where the world is heading, while also just literally being a fun little like fight between the two of them once they realize that the rules of the level are they have to hurt themselves to hurt the other person.
Yeah.
And it becomes really wild to the point where they're trying to like stab each other and shoot.
That fucking fight scene at the end is
ultimately culminating in her trying to drown herself.
Yeah.
In order to get him.
And the ultimate reveal at the end is that the guy, the main developer of the game, is still alive.
Yep.
And he is the one who is controlling it. Like he's the one giving everyone the choices.
Oh yeah, and he was reaping the benefits from both of their games.
Yeah.
But she beat the game. No one had done that. No one actually beat it. Not even the last person, because their last level was distributing it and then waiting for the next fucking level.
For the next part. Yeah.
So she actually survived and beat the game, so she now gets to reap the benefits, which allows her to start distributing it to, unlike the Gen Xer or the boomer tech guy.
Yeah.
She only sends it to the people that fucking deserve it. The abusive drug dealer that has been like bringing her mom further and further down this terrible fucking path, as opposed to the other two, which are just distributing it to who the fuck ever, because the point is for them to benefit. And so it's like it's really cool because it's got all this social commentary layered in with this kind of dumb fun kind of like video game challenge movie. It reminds me of like Cube in that way.
It has that same relative type vibe.
Exactly.
Although this is a little funnier.
Oh, it's a lot funnier. Like there's a lot like it's not a full-on horror comedy, but it's got a lot of funny moments,
Yeah.
Because like once you get into the horror stuff, that stuff isn't treated very comedically.
No, but it is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. They 100% buy into
like the fucking rat sequence.
The rat sequence is great.
And my favorite part is you never see the rat, but I felt like I did.
Yeah.
Just because of the way it played.
Yeah. And that's one of those moments where like just the actors are on fire.
Yeah, there's a really cool sequence where the main character is forced to play this game where her mom is trying to survive this giant rat that's rampaging through their apartment. Now, we don't actually see the interior of the apartment when this is happening. We see it
we
through
see
the
like
DOS
little
screen.
crappy
Atari.
Atari graphics.
Like a fucking Atari screen. And there's like the mom, and then there's like the rat, and it's going from rooms. And we can hear on her telephone call all the damage the rat is doing, and the mom crying and all that stuff. But what's really cool about it is at first you think that the challenge of the game is for her to get her mom to escape.
Yeah.
But the game actually has her playing the rat, and the goal
goal is to eat the mom.
Yeah. Now, in reality, the game, the goal actually is to get the mom to survive as much as possible, but she doesn't know that because the game fucking lies to her.
Yeah. Her goal is for the mom to live. The game's controllers is all about killing her.
It's very obvious that there is a part of the curse of the game that acknowledged how her choices were often more selfless than past players.
Yeah.
Like even when faced with a no-win scenario, she would still try to find the most selfless possible option of it.
Yes.
There's a point where she has to choose between her dead brother and her best friend / lover.
Yeah.
They never actually like consummate their relationship as being a relationship, but it's very obvious that's the path that would have gone had, events in this movie not happened.
Yeah.
And she has to choose between the two of them. And the brother is obviously the one thing that she cares about most in this world, and her biggest source of trauma is the death of her brother. But she still ends up choosing her friend because ultimately her brother already died.
Ultimately, your brother already died and her friend is innocent.
Exactly. And let's be honest. If you're like playing this game, do you really trust the game to bring the brother back?
No. Fuck no.
It'll be a monkey's paw scenario.
Oh yeah, totally. Like he's gonna someone's gonna hit a reset button on a Nintendo and he's gonna disappear or some shit.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
Or he'll come back wrong and then you have to play a game of like the zombie eating brother or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
The brain eating zombie brother.
No, we're not. No, I don't think we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, I love this movie. It was real good.
I like that the movie comments on the boomer and the nostalgia being like fun and all that, but there's also like
what the problem with it is.
Yeah, this dark side of the 80s,
yeah.
Right? And I really liked that. Like especially that part towards the end when the Gen X guy basically is dumbfounded by the concept that he might be the villain of the story because he's got to be the hero, right?
Right.
Like he loves all those 80s stories about all those 80s heroes and stuff like that. And he's like the 80s hero, so he's got to be the good guy, right? Is that, are we the baddies moment?
Yeah, he is my bag. And then he gets offended.
Yeah, he gets
offended. And the funny thing is, I'm watching that and I'm like, dude, you're sitting quietly in a fucking mansion with a mangled family. Of course you're the bad guy.
And the funny part is, when you look at the choices in the game that he had to play,
yeah,
the game was kind of giving him what he wanted, just in a fucked up way.
Yeah.
Like he hated how loud his wife and kid was, so it basically shut them up.
Yep.
He's the textbook father who hates his entire family and just wishes everyone could shut the fuck up and obey him.
Yep.
And he gets that wish.
Yep.
Through the game. But that doesn't make him a good guy. And it doesn't make him the hero of the game. It makes him the final boss.
Yeah. So it is this one which one of them is going to end? And that's what I meant by earlier in the non-spoiler when I said the sequel would have to be something different, because I'm like, it would have to be like Death Note.
Oh, yeah. The sequel would be a fight between the fucking corporate guy and her at this point.
Yeah.
Who both have somewhat control of the game. And it'll be interesting to see if they do make a sequel. Like, if this movie did well enough where they make another one, I hope they go in that direction and don't just, do that thing a lot of horror sequels do, where it's like, oh, it's a whole new cast of characters and it's the same old game.
Oh, no.
I would rather them do, Road Warrior,
Yes,
rather than do Aliens, and, this is taking the concept to the next level. Or, Happy Death Day 2 did, where it's like, oh, we got some elements from the original movie, but now we're going in this completely weird sci-fi direction. I kind of hope they do that if they make another one. Or I would totally be down for that concept we talked about earlier about like the prequel, about the making of the game.
About the making of the game?
I would totally watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would inherently have to be different.
Absolutely.
You know, like maybe exorcist it out and they like some guy goes into tombs of Egypt to read the curse.
I kind of imagine it being like the Social Network to a certain extent.
A little bit,
where
yeah.
you have like this kind of like Mark Zuckerberg, like Bill Gates-esque fucking like guy who starts up this tech company and creates this thing, and then just like watching him like descend into evil as he starts cursing more and more people or trying out elements of the game on people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could totally see it done in that kind of style, you know. Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, is there anything else you got to say about this?
No. I think you should all check this movie out.
Choose or Die, Ask for It by Name. Apparently, the movie was originally called Cursor, like the game in the movie.
Oh.
But when Netflix decided to distribute it, they decided to call it Choose or Die.
I think Choose or Die is a better title.
Choose or Die kind of like, it just works.
Yeah.
You know.
Cursor, we might have been like, but Choose or Die, for some reason, that just feels better, you know.
And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Counting Jack, and I also stream here on YouTube every Thursday and Sunday around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Gonna do that after we record the next vlog, actually.
Yep. Right into a stream after this.
Right into a stream. You can also follow me on Instagram at Satanic Jackula. How about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, and Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos when they immediately are uploaded. I don't know why I'm fumbling over this, but it is what it is. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages, and remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag cursor. Hashtag cursor, that way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows you watched this vlog all the way through. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, we got one more awesome movie to vlog, and so we're just going to do that, and then he's going to go stream. So.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I want to bring up. Mm-hmm. How should they spell cursor?
Oh, I'm going to type it in. I'm going to look up the way.
Okay. All right.
It's one of those, I don't remember how it was exactly spelled in the movie because it had its own unique spelling, but I'm going to look up that spelling and just put it right here so they can read it.
Got it.
And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, peace out, and I'll catch y'all later.